Russian President Vladimir Putin recently held a significant meeting in Moscow with Syria's new leader, Ahmed al-Sharaa. This encounter marked their first official interaction since the ousting of Bashar al-Assad last year. Both leaders publicly committed to redefine the historical relationship between Russia and Syria, while simultaneously affirming their intention to uphold all existing agreements. Discussion during the meeting primarily focused on several critical areas: the future operational status of Russian military base located within Syria, prospect for enhanced energy cooperation between the two nations, and the extensive effort required for Syria's post-conflict reconstruction. Moscow's overarching objective in these discussions appeared to be the consolidation of its regional influence, particularly within the Middle East. Meanwhile, reports suggest that President Sharaa intends to formally request the extradition of Bashar al-Assad and seek substantial compensation for damage incurred during the prolonged wartime period. Current intelligence indicates that Assad and his family are reportedly residing freely under Russian protections in Moscow, adding another layer of complexity to the shifting political landscape in Syria and the broader region. The visit of Syria's new president, al-Sharaa, to Moscow for discussion with Vladimir Putin has ignited considerable speculation regarding Russia's reassertion of dominance in the Middle East. This high-profile meeting is widely seen as a pivotal moment, signaling a new era of alliance that could fundamentally reshape the dynamic of influence for Syria, Russia, and the United States in the region, especially following the collapse of Bashar al-Assad regimes and perceived failures in previous Trump administration diplomatic efforts. During the meeting, Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa explicitly assured his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin, of his commitment to honor all existing agreements between Damascus and Moscow. This pledge is strategically important as it is widely interpreted as securing Russia's continued access to its vital military bases situated in Syria. Sharaa, who previously held leadership within the Syrian branch of al-Qaeda and was instrumental in the overthrow of long-standing Russian ally Bashar al-Assad late last year, delivered these assurances at the outset of their talks, which were held in the Kremlin. Adding to the unfolding narrative, a new video message from former Syrian Vice President Farouk al-Sharaa has further fueled speculation about the deepening axis between Moscow and Damascus, with some analysts interpreting it as a direct signal from President Vladimir Putin to President Donald Trump. In his remarks during the meeting, Putin emphatically underscored that Russia's posture on Syria is primarily guided by the interests of the Syrian people, not politics. This statement has been widely scrutinized by analysts who viewed it as a calculated diplomatic assertion designed to reaffirm Russia's role and influence, while also serving as a pointed message to Washington amidst the fluid and evolving geopolitical alignments across the Middle East. The convergence of these events, Sharaa visits, his assurance regarding military bases, and Putin's public pronouncements collectively indicates a deliberate effort by Russia to solidify its strategic position and project its power in a region undergoing significant transformation. This ongoing realignment presents both opportunities and challenges for major global powers involved in the intricate tapestry of Middle Eastern politics. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko has recently underscored a renewed trajectory in Belarus-US relations, expressing commendation for the Trump administration's decisive actions on the global stage. Concurrently, Lukashenko emphasized that any future agreement forged between Belarus and the United States must rigorously safeguard Belarusian national interests. He meticulously highlighted the critical importance of maintaining a delicate balance in diplomatic ties with Russia, China, and other friendly nations, while also drawing clear red lines that define Belarus' irreducible sovereign boundaries. Lukashenko advocated for the formalization of a transparent and comprehensive strategy to guide future negotiations with the United States. Furthermore, he urged his governmental team to formulate concrete, actionable measures, signaling Belarus' proactive stance to engage pragmatically with Washington. This approach aims to secure Belarusian sovereignty and contribute to regional stability amidst shifting international dynamics. In a related development, Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belousov recently highlighted the escalating strengthening of defense cooperation between Russia and Belarus. Belousov characterized this enhanced collaboration as a crucial factor in preserving regional stability, particularly in response to NATO's discernible increase in military presence along its eastern flank. He explicitly stated, "Currently, as the collective West has initiated a hybrid war against us, the interaction between Russia and Belarus serves as an example of good neighborly relations based on respect and mutual assistance." This statement underscores a perception of shared security concerns and a unified front against what both nations perceive as external pressures, particularly from Western alliance. These converging perspectives from both Minsk and Moscow suggest a coordinated effort to solidify their strategic alignment and counter perceived threats in the geopolitical arena. Hungary's Foreign Minister Peter Szijjarto has publicly declared that Hungary will persist in its importation of oil and gas from Russia, steadfastly maintaining this policy despite considerable pressure from the European Union. Speaking emphatically at Russian Energy Week in Moscow, Szijjarto underscored Hungary's sovereign right to determine and manage its national energy mix. He stressed the imperative of shielding this critical aspect of national policy from undue political or ideological influence. Szijjarto articulated that Hungary would face severe adverse consequences if it were to be cut off from Russian energy supplies during his visit to Moscow on a day when NATO defense ministers were convening in Brussels to discuss military aid for Ukraine. Szijjarto reiterated that Budapest would not yield to external pressure concerning decisions related to its energy provisions. This resolute stance highlights Hungary's divergence from the majority of other NATO member states concerning the approach to dealing with Moscow, particularly on energy matters. The minister's statements reinforce Hungary's commitment to prioritizing its perceived national economic interests and energy security, even if it means maintaining a distinct policy direction within the European Union and NATO frameworks. Tensions sharply escalated following an admission by Hamas that it had returned the wrong body to Israel under the terms of the Trump-brokered Gaza ceasefire deal. The body that was handed over was subsequently identified as that of a Gazan civilian, not an Israeli hostage, which provoked outrage in Jerusalem. Hazem Qassem, a spokesman from Hamas, stated that the group was following up on its commitments while simultaneously accusing Israel of violating the ceasefire agreement by killing civilians in their areas of Szijjarto and Rafah. In response, National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir vehemently denounced Hamas as a Nazi terror group and demanded immediate retribution for their perceived breach and deception. This incident not only jeopardized the fragile ceasefire but also intensified existing animosity, raising serious concerns about the stability of the region and the efficacy of future diplomatic engagements. The misidentification of the body has become a focal point of recrimination, undermining trust and potentially leading to further cycles of violence between the parties involved. If you have made it this far, congratulations, you have unlocked the truth. I want to ask you a good question though. With Syrian President al-Sharaa meeting Putin in Moscow and pledging to uphold agreements, signaling Russia's renewed dominance in the Middle East, how do you foresee this realignment impacting regional stability and the strategic interests of other major global powers like the United States, especially given the complexity of Bashar al-Assad situations and ongoing external pressures? During the debate, we want to hear your insightful opinion on where this is all heading in our community. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.